Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube channel once again, and thank you for choosing to be part of us. We are living at a very precarious moment, socially, politically, and economically. The cost of living is just rising every day, and there are families who are going without food. Flood is not giving us any space, and it is exposing the government's disaster management programs and policies as are very wanting. Insecurity is also part of this government. The security policies can't add up. Terrorists and bandits are taking over, and people are wondering what exactly is happening. There have been allegations of corruption and people trying to milk Kenyans from their own hard-earned cash, and they're enriching themselves against the very tough times economically. Now, some of these have been allegations coming from the opposition, and when it comes out from them, the government laments that it is their usual manner of trying to gain sympathy. But I've always opined on this channel that when a crocodile tells you something about hippopotamus, for example, there's that say that when a crocodile tells you that the hippopotamus is sick, then you must believe it because they both live in water. If any member of the Kenya Kwanza team tells you that the Kenya Kwanza government is corrupt, you must believe them because they know what is happening. It is an in-house policy that have just gone overboard, that has leaked out. Samson Cherargei is a man who is loved and hated on equal measures. He used to tweet from morning to evening about Raila Odinga. In fact, when Raila stopped the demonstrations, he was wondering, he said they wanted to crush Raila Odinga once for all. And the Azimio supporters really chased him on social media. Recently, we have seen the altercation between Samson Cherargei and the Transport Cabinet Secretary Murkomen, a man who is very close, who is almost taken as a mouthpiece of William Samoei Ruto. And these altercations, if they are not stopped, they are going to expose William Samoei Ruto. In fact, yesterday, Cherargei was kicked out of parliament for what he now says was a choreographed plan to ensure that they didn't speak. And Cherargei is saying something that is directly indicting William Samoei Ruto, because he's saying that the closest ally of William Ruto, Murkomen, is corrupt to the core and should not be in the cabinet. Listen to Samson Cherargei.
He has visited China severally, and you heard at the floor of the house defending Chinese contractors. Where will the hustler contractors who voted for us go if you are giving them contract? Because he received a bribe, and I am daring him to come clean on the allegation of receiving $100 million from China when he visited in the month of between June and October. I want him to come out and tell the country, because every time when he came to insult me in the funeral, he defended the Chinese contractor. Who will defend Kenyans who are contractors? Or does it mean Kenyans, we don't have capacity of doing roads, even slashing and clogging drainages? Do we need Chinese to come and slash? Where will our young people who do not have jobs go? So I want to dare him to tell the country what agreement did they agree on allegations of receiving $100 million from China, where he was paid an affront of $50 million. And we have all the facts. We have the flight manifest. We know where the money is in Dubai. It is that some of us are just keeping what we call decency, but it has reached a time that the country must know the truth. And that is why he decided to ensure he gets protection from the house, so that some of us do not speak and tell the country the truth. So no.
The reason why this is very important, ladies and gentlemen, recently, Raila Amolo Odinga came up with claims that the G2G oil deal was supposed to enrich individuals within the Ruto government. And Okia Omutata added, even with more startling allegations, mentioning names, that Murkomen, the Transport Cabinet Secretary, and Cherargei, who is the Energy Cabinet Secretary, benefited largely out of this scandal.
I then challenged Mr. Murkomen, who is a good friend of mine, and I'm challenging Mr. Cherargei to come out clean and tell us two things. One, why are they the spokesmen of Galana? Galana is a private company. Njeri is a private entity. Two private entities are fighting over a product. What was the role of the government in that product? When you go and look at this statement of that monthly expenditure, you realize some big withdrawals that are beyond, they're only given 0.7 billion. But you find there was a withdrawal when Honorable Kuri Atani was still the Minister for Finance. In September, they withdrew 16 point something billion. Then sometime in April, there was a withdrawal of 9 billion. Then in June, there's a withdrawal of 17 billion. Now, when I was looking at it now, what caught my eye is the 17 billion shillings. Here there's somebody nondescript claiming they have 17 billion worth of cargo of oil. The ministers are saying the oil is not theirs, it belongs to Galana. Galana is quiet, he's not saying anything. And now, I look at what did this 17 billion do that was withdrawn in June, towards the end of the financial year. You are told the money went to do what? To subsidize private enterprises. So my question is, subsidizing private enterprises, first of all, there was a policy of government that subsidies have gone out. So which private enterprise is being subsidized? And then the figure of 17 billion is exactly the same figure of the oil that's coming in.
And for Cherargei to come up at this moment, when William Ruto is trying to maintain a brave face that the government is not corrupt, that the government did not lose any money, that no one is stealing from the public coffers, it is very, very indicting. And he is telling Kenyans that indeed the oil deal was true, because if he's saying that Murkomen went to China and he was bribed by $100 million, ladies and gentlemen, to give contract to the Chinese contractors, you cannot tell me that if Murkomen took 100 million as a bribe, then nothing will stop. What will stop him from getting some percentage out of this oil deal? And so, in my considered opinion, Cherargei has implicated Murkomen, has implicated Cherargei on this, has implicated William Samoei Ruto. Because Njeri, when she was interviewed, she said that when she was told to go to Cherargei's office, the Oscar Sudi was there representing William Ruto. He was sent to get a few facts about this deal so that he could report to William Samoei Ruto. So these allegations have vindicated Raila Amolo Odinga. It comes out that Raila was, after all, very correct. It has vindicated Okia Omutata, because the bottom line is Murkomen is corrupt, according to Cherargei, because he's saying he's got facts. I'm telling you, this is very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And he's saying he's ready to produce them. Anybody who is still going to argue with this, I've told you, the crocodile speaking, they live in water with the hippopotamus. Cherargei is directly telling Kenyans that Ruto could be corrupt. He's putting Ruto in a tight corner, in a dilemma. Because once you've been told that a member of your cabinet is corrupt, then William Ruto needs to do something. He should maybe invite, and of course Cherargei must go to the EACC to produce that evidence so that they can begin investigations. If William Ruto is going to be quiet, then people will see him as a man who is shielding corrupt individuals, because it is in the public domain that Murkomen is William Ruto's best friend. When he speaks, it is William Ruto who is speaking. And so Cherargei is giving an indirect message to William Samoei Ruto, and is telling Kenyans, look, I have done my part. In fact, Cherargei is now a whistleblower within the government, telling Kenyans, we didn't know that Murkomen received 100 million as part of the bribe. And when he says he's got the documents, Ruto must do something. Ruto must initiate, either call on Murkomen to report. Something must be done, because the buck stops with Ruto. Ruto himself has always indicated that if anything will happen to this government, he will be part of the blame, because he's the president. At a time when they are trying to defend the government, Cherargei is telling them no. And if one person is corrupt, and we also know that people like Aisha Juma had corruption cases and they were dropped, how many more cases within this cabinet don't we know? Because it seems that the entire cabinet is now corrupt. If Cherargei has been mentioned, then Murkomen is being mentioned. The other day, Mythical Inturi indicated that Kenyans lost some millions of shillings. Was it in terms of billions in the Ministry of Agriculture? And we can name them, mention them over and over again. These ministries, the entire cabinet, I can assure you, is corrupt to the core. Cherargei's statements also indicate a state capture, or we will see whether there is state capture. That is the dilemma, because once a cabinet secretary has been mentioned in bad faith, the EACC must rein in and find out whether the allegations that are being meted on Murkomen is true. I know they can argue that that was a statement, but they have been invited that such a person is corrupt. They must come up with the investigation, and if possible, William Ruto, during the process of investigation, must suspend Murkomen, or Murkomen must decide to get aside and let investigations take place. And I can assure you that this is not going to happen. If the EACC is not going to come and begin investigations on Murkomen, because I've never seen them, in conducting any investigation against any other cabinet secretary, then we will know that the state capture that Kimani Chungwa keeps on making noise about, that was common and prevalent in the previous regime, it has gained root in this government. And Kenyans are waiting. Uhuru Kenyatta has been vindicated, because this government keeps on making noise that people are suffering because of the mistakes that the former regime did, that there were errors of omission and commission in the last regime. It is very clear, according to Samson Cherargei, that we are suffering because this government is corrupt. We are not given contracts when we are supposed to. The hustler nation has been left out. That is what the senator is saying. That even, unclogging the trenches, kutoa tu hizo nini, the Chinese, the contractors are being given, and he's telling the hustlers that you have been forgotten, and the problem was never Uhuru, because Uhuru gave you kazi kwa vijana. What should be given to vijana is now given to the Chinese contractors, and is telling them that you were forgotten long time ago. The people who are supposed to help William Ruto take care of the hustlers have forgotten the hustlers, and they're looking for who can enrich their pockets. And so, ladies and gentlemen, 2027 is waiting, and Cherargei has told people that this cabinet does not care about us. This cabinet is corrupt. They are getting bribes to deny Kenyans jobs. You've been told. I don't know what more you want Cherargei to add, because he has done his job. It is you to decide. You can argue with those. Well, for now, there are allegations. We don't know whether they are facts, but there are unwritten facts that this government is corrupt. We know. So EACC, kazi kwenyu. I don't know whether the DCI is also needed here. Kazi kwake. William Samoei Ruto, you must prove that you are not shielding your tribesmen. You are not shielding corrupt individuals. We are waiting to see. Those who think that when money has been stolen, it is stolen on their behalf, they will still argue with these facts. But only time will tell, because imeanza, nyumba inachomeka pole pole. Raila Amolo Odinga, ka kando kidogo. The truth is coming out pole pole. Okay, Mutata, when you go to court, maybe one of the witnesses should be Cherargei himself. It has been confirmed. To Murkomen, I don't know what he's gonna do. It is not about statements, because this government is full of making statements. Documentation will help. And if Cherargei is serious about this matter, let him take the facts to the EACC. Nyumba inabomoka pole pole baba.